The Chateau de Amaroi, The Mothers of Darkness, Episode 10, Threads of Autumn. The last stubborn roses of Thornwood Hall still clung to their vines, petals edged in bronze as autumn crept silently in. 15-year-old Eleanor stood among them, tall and poised, her fingers brushing the velvet heads. In the pocket of her simple linen day dress rested the black wax seal. It had never cooled since that stormy night when little Clara, now 13, first pulled it from the rose bed and pressed it into her hands. Its faint, living pulse beat in time with Eleanor's own heart, a constant reminder that their golden summer of 1896 was quietly unraveling into something ancient and far more powerful. Clara joined her in the garden just as they had all summer. Long rides through the orchards, posture lessons with books balanced on their heads, giggles behind sewing screens over too many petticoats, stolen midnight picnics beneath the ancient oaks. But today hummed with something different. A footman had arrived at noon with a thick packet of letters sealed not in black wax but in deep crimson, the color of old blood, and binding promises. The three girls retreated deeper into the roses and read them together, voices low and urgent. The 7 young men had spent their summer sharpening blades and minds, fencing until their shirts clung to the sweat-slick skin, talking of bloodlines and empires beneath starlit terraces. One line written in a strong, slanted hand from a Swiss banking house lingered in Eleanor's thoughts. We ride for the chateau when the leaves turn fully. The mothers have spoken. The selection draws near. A pleasurable shiver ran down Eleanor's spine. The binding ceremony itself still waited weeks away, Yuletide at the Chateau de Amaroi in the Ardennes, beneath candlelight with ancient oaths, but its shadow already stretched long across the garden paths. As the sun dipped behind the oaks, Grandmother appeared, silver hair pinned beneath a lace cap, moving with the quiet power of 80 years, woven with silk and secrets. "Come inside, my dears," she said, her voice warm as aged brandy. "The garden listens far too closely tonight." In the wood-paneled library, firelight painted the walls deep port and gold. Grandmother poured 3 small glasses of elderflower cordial, then drew a velvet-covered book from a locked drawer, its cover bearing the same sigil etched into Clara's black wax seal. "Summer's final chapter belonged to the young men," she began with a knowing smile. "Now it's your turn to understand what they trained for." She opened the book to an illustration. 7 veiled figures circled a girl in white, wrists bound with shimmering silver cord. "The binding is no more wedding," Grandmother continued. "It's a weaving of gifts, an ancient locking of power, so the bloodlines can guide the empires without breaking. Eleanor, my eldest, I have watched your symbols and spirals appear unbidden, the ones you sketch obsessively to quiet the headaches. Beatrice, my 14-year-old, your gift rides in the wind, faint humming that becomes voices, singing carried out on the breeze only you can truly hear. And Clara, sharp-eyed finder, you discovered the seal itself in the rosebed. Your gift awakens in quiet knowing and the steady pulse you feel when you hold it." Beatrice's fingers tightened around her glass as a faint breeze stirred the curtains. "And what if we do not wish to be bound?" Grandmother's gaze softened, but her voice stayed firm. "The choice appears only once, child. To refuse risks thinning the veil. That low humming in the oaks at dusk, Beatrice? It's the chateau calling, testing which one of you will answer first." That night, after the house quieted, Eleanor slipped the black wax seal from her pocket. She pressed it gently to her left wrist, exactly where the silver thread had wrapped in their shared dream. A vivid image bloomed behind her eyes. snow-draped turrets of the Chateau d'Emeraude rising against a winter sky. 7 young men stood on the grand steps in formal black. One stepped forward. He was tall, dark-haired, and his gaze finding hers across the impossible distance. For one breathless moment, she felt the silver cord tighten, warm, inevitable, and alive with promise. The symbols she alone could see flickered at the edges as if approving. The seal cooled once more, but the vision remained. Down the corridor, Beatrice still caught echoes of unearthly singing on the night breeze, and Clara turned the memory of the seal over in her hands. Tomorrow would bring deeper lessons, fresh letters, and the first careful steps forward. Yuletide. Weeks of preparation still lay ahead, time for gifts to sharpen, doubts to bloom, and the 7 young men to become more than names on crimson paper. But tonight, the veil had thinned just enough to offer a glimpse of what awaited on the other side. And Eleanor, as the oldest, felt the pull most keenly. She wanted more than she could yet admit to follow the thread wherever it led. And we know the castle's real. The legends are very loud. And the truth, well, the truth always waits in the dark. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mothers of Darkness. If you enjoyed my content, please like, share, and follow for more.